What's up, everyone? Welcome into episode 34 of Around the Felt, our Week 12 recap. Reagan, how are we doing today?
Colin, I am doing good. How are you doing today?
Good. You know, I'm very comfortable in the prototype of the Around the Felt podcast hoodie, coming soon to all of you in different colors. Excited for that. And also, we had a phenomenal weekend with the Around the Felt Black Friday tailgate.
That we did.
Although we bought 250 50-50 tickets, we didn't win, but we did have a good time. We partied around the Felt. Big tailgate.
Yep. My truck broke down, too. That was cool.
Reagan's truck broke down in the parking lot, leaving the game. That was...
Got to sit in the MetLife parking lot in the freezing cold for an hour and a half after. But that's just what we do for you guys, you know?
Yeah, we just want to get the content to you. But yeah, that was a hell of a time.
Terrible game, though.
Terrible game. The Dolphins rolled, which I expected. Reagan did not.
I did.
You did, and then you switched.
I said, I'm fading my gut this week. My gut said Dolphins, and I should have just listened to my gut.
Yeah, fading Reagan's gut did not pan out this week, as you will find out soon enough with the picks.
Just fade me. That's what you guys should be doing.
Yeah, fade Reagan right now on the spread.
Dude, I was on fire on the spread in the past 4 weeks.
The 4 weeks have been tough. You have 1 week in there that was like mid, but
ice,
other than that, it's been pretty poor. Drock and I went to the Giants-Patriots game yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys saw the video, the live action, Drock's lock smack in the stadium we were watching.
Happened?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't.
Well, check out the Instagram or the TikTok, and you'll see it.
No, I'm kidding. I am the one who posts all of our videos.
That's a good point.
I didn't even double check it. I'm like, I trust Drock. I'll post it.
That's a good point. But yeah, it was a good weekend for the Felt. And yeah, it was a crazy weekend in the NFL. Not a ton of news, but one big breaking news segment today. Frank Reich fired as the head coach of the Panthers.
Reagan, shocked by this.
You were? Yeah, I was going to ask. What are your thoughts?
I honestly thought they'd just fire him in the offseason. I thought he would at least make the whole year. I mean, what's the point? This team's already a dumpster fire, and you don't even have your pick. So, I guess maybe they're going for the Raiders approach, that maybe an intern head coach will come in. Plus, could it get any worse than it is? But I was still surprised by this.
This is 2 seasons in a row that the Panthers have fired their coach mid-season with David Tepper as the owner. They fired Matt Rule last year. I believe it was like week 7 or 8.
It was early.
It was early.
Yeah.
This time, Reich only asked 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the big sticking point here was they're fine with their defense and their special teams, but the lack of development from Bryce Young in this offense, I don't think Tepper wanted to have Reich continue to lead Young the rest of the way, because there were rumors swirling, Reagan, that both McCown, the quarterback's coach, and Reich wanted C.J. Stroud to be their quarterback, but Tepper is the one that said, we're taking Bryce Young.
I hope McCown
got fired as well.
Oh!
So that's not happening.
Well, you know what that means. We just have a potential new quarterback for the Jets. Maybe we'll pick him up, bring him back.
Yeah, potentially.
He was good.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. People are starting to murmur that Tepper might be one of the worst owners in sports, because who wants to take that job? You don't have your first-round pick, which right now looks to be...
I think they have $35 million cap space also.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad, but...
It's not great. This team has a ton of holes.
They do, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, but your number 1 overall pick is going to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have your second-round pick in 2025, so you have limited resources. But you're all in on Bryce Young. The owner is all in, but if you can't upgrade around him...
I understand why you don't trade a guy like Brian Burns and just try to get some of that capital back.
Dude, I don't know, man. I mean...
Because by the time this team is good, Brian Burns is not going to be in his prime anymore.
No, that's a good point. And it sucks because you had to give up DJ Moore, which... What does Bryce Young need right now? DJ Moore. You see the relationship that he has with Justin Fields this year.
Like
he's really
I don't think him having DJ Moore would really change much. I think this team's got
it
would help, but the line's still terrible. And
dude, let's be honest. Adam Thielen was not good at all last year. He seemed washed, and now he's the number 1 wide receiver. And he's been good in fantasy because who else is catching the ball? I mean, Mingo had a solid day yesterday.
They have no run game. The line's terrible. The defense is terrible. Granted, they have some injuries, but still.
Yes. All right, in other news, Joe Shane. Did you see his press conference today?
Did not.
We got to talk some Daniel Jones because he said DJ is the starter when healthy going to 2024, but the team will address the quarterback position in the offseason. And when they asked him, will you take a quarterback in the first round of the draft, the classic, we'll go best player available to help our team. If it's a quarterback, we'll go quarterback. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Sounds about right. I don't know. That's exactly what they should do. Obviously they've won 2 games straight, so you're probably out of the Caleb Williams sweepstake and the Drake May sweepstake, I would imagine.
Unless you give up a lot to move up like the Panthers
Which I don't think they're going to do, and I don't think they need to. So I guess it really just depends where they're picking and who is there. But
you could also...
I wouldn't take a quarterback just to take a quarterback. You could give Jones another year. and go like I'm trying to think who would be there because I don't think they're going to be in the Marvin Harrison reign, but if like Brock, even like with Waller, I mean they could go get Brock Bowers too.
They could go Bowers, but they could also go Jaden Daniels from LSU. He's the favorite for the Heisman right now.
Because
Bo
if
Nix.
you bring a quarterback in, like you still have no weapons outside of Saquon. Who is he even going to be there next year? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother conversation.
So I don't think you're setting up a quarterback for success. But then again, Tommy DeVito.
But then again, what about
had some success.
Yeah, I mean DeVito. I mean he had some nice big time throws. Jalen Hyatt has first game
better
over
than
100.
Daniel Jones this year. I will say that.
Yeah, but
if you compare their games.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean, we've seen years Josh Allen went 7th overall behind other quarterbacks, and he ended up being the best of the bunch. So you never know, man. I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason in New York.
Yeah.
Shaq Leonard is visiting the Cowboys tomorrow, and the Eagles now, with Cunningham having a hamstring, are now showing interest. And we mentioned it, Reagan, Howie Roseman special. Do you think he ends up in Dallas, Philly, or other?
I would just say, and he's going to go to a contender. It's going to be a team in the playoffs. I could see the Bills. Just because they're missing Matt Milano and it's pretty evident. They can't really stop the run right now, as we saw in the game against the Eagles. Like, I don't even know why. Like watching that game, I don't really understand why the Eagles are throwing the ball so damn much. Like every time Swift ran the ball, he was gashing Buffalo. Even Hurts, every time he ran, he was gashing Buffalo. So I think that team has a big need at middle linebacker, and I could see that's my prediction, Buffalo.
Okay, I like it. And in not so other crazy news, the Raiders released Marcus Peters today. He used to be really good. Apparently, level of play has declined.
Big time.
Granted, the Raiders are not a playoff threat, so maybe Marcus Peters signs somewhere else on a contender, a team that needs a corner, and can provide a boost down the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
All right, well, that wraps up the news. Joe, what do we have for questions today?
All right, we're going to start off with Austin.
Austin. Every time. Every damn time.
It doesn't miss.
He's got an alarm on his phone just waiting to freaking post that comment.
Let's go, Austin.
Some more college football.
I like the college football.
Who wins this week, Oregon or Washington? And if Oregon wins, do they make the playoffs?
Well, yes, if Oregon wins, they do make the
'cause they're
playoffs.
taking
Because their only loss is to Washington by 3.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Like, if Florida State wins, why would Oregon with a loss hop them?
Well, I mean, there's a lot that needs to happen, but I think a one-loss Oregon that lost by 3 points to Washington and they go and beat Washington, you'd think they'd get in.
Over an undefeated team, though?
I don't know.
Like, it's not like Florida State plays
the problem
a crappy
is,
conference.
It's
like
it's a good point.
I just feel
because we're assuming Michigan's going to beat Iowa.
Yeah.
The
spread was 22.5.
Now, if Alabama beats Georgia, then shit really hits the fan. See, this is the thing with Oregon and Washington. I've been riding Washington all year. I love this Washington team.
Oh, wait, I forgot Ohio State lost. That also changed. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Washington's in right now, so they replaced Washington.
And Florida State's in right now, too?
Yeah, because Ohio State lost.
So that would be saying if they won, they would be the one to jump.
I think winner's in. Winner is in.
Winners has to be in.
Winner's in. I've been riding Washington all year, but I actually think Oregon wins this
How
game.
do they decipher that, though? Because
I think
Oregon goes in
minus 9.5 Oregon.
If Oregon goes and wins,
what's that?
Oregon's favored at minus 9.5.
9.5?
Yeah.
If Oregon beats Washington by 3 points, like what? I don't really know how you.
I also was looking
decide.
at I think Oregon to make the college football playoffs was like minus 250, while Washington was like plus 250. So they really think that Oregon's just gonna kill them.
I guess so.
That's crazy to me because Washington beat them earlier on. I've been riding Washington. The fact that it's a 9.5 point spread, I'm gonna back Washington in the points.
I'm gonna back Oregon, man. If that's the case, dude, Oregon's definitely covering.
I did think Oregon was gonna win.
If that's the case, Oregon's gonna steamroll them. I don't even need to know enough about it.
Just because the spread's 9.5.
Dude, why else would it be that big? That just screams steamroll. Like I'm saying, Oregon's gonna beat them by 30.
A lot last weekend.
Oregon's gonna beat them by 30.
But it's rivalry week.
Yeah.
Oregon's gonna beat them by 30. I'm calling it now.
By 30.
Yep.
Wow. I don't know. I'm going to take Washington in the points. But I did think that Oregon was going to win after the games this past weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to back the Huskies.
New Mexico State? Question mark.
New Mexico State?
Maybe
potential playoff push?
Guys, they just play a lot of games. Don't penalize them because they have more losses for playing more. They're just tougher.
They did play 13 games, which makes no sense.
Can Bama upset Georgia? And if Georgia loses, do they drop out of the playoffs?
Oh, I mean...
Yeah, they definitely can upset them.
They can. Milrose playing really well down the stretch. but I also don't think Georgia loses. I think Georgia wins. I think they win a close one. Now, that's when shit really hits the fan because we're assuming Michigan's going to beat Iowa.
They will.
The winner of Oregon-Washington's in. Right now, Florida State's in. They have Louisville, but Louisville just lost last week to Kentucky. But now Florida State didn't look very good against Florida, and Florida's not a good team this year without their starting quarterback. So I don't know. It can get really, really interesting. And I feel like we have this conversation every year, and it never. I feel like this never happens though. Where
I don't want to watch them in the college football playoffs.
I don't want to watch them either. I'd rather.
Well,
watch
it just sucks because Jordan Travis isn't playing.
Yeah, if Jordan Travis was playing, it's a different ballgame. But yeah, no Jordan Travis. Their new quarterback struggled.
But also that game did mean a lot more to Florida.
If they lose, and Bama wins, do you think Bama's in?
Probably.
If Bama beats Georgia and they're the one-loss SEC champion, they have to be in.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like the one-loss SEC champion is in every year. So then
what about
I think
Liberty?
Georgia,
if Liberty beats New Mexico State, 0 losses on the season.
Yeah, but they're Liberty.
About like Texas or Bama.
Well, that's the thing. Texas could win, and then they have one loss, but they beat
they
Bama
lose
head-to-head.
They lost to Bama.
They lost to Oklahoma.
They lost to Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, Texas would get in over Bama then, right? You have to.
Because Texas beat Bama.
Yeah. I feel like you have to respect.
But that was also what, week 1, week 2?
But still
that was also a crazy game that Texas.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter when it was. It's still you beat them head to head.
See, I'm just glad I'm not in the committee for a decision like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's really
It'll get
close this year.
This is the year where it sucks that there's not 12 teams in, because this would actually be a great year for it.
It would be.
There could potentially be like 6 or 7 teams that have one loss.
Yeah. No, it's going to get dicey.
It would actually be a sick year for it to be the 12-team format.
Oh yeah, because there's no real like every year like Georgia the past couple of years you tell that they're the best team. Like you can make a case for like 3 or 4 teams that they're the best team.
Yeah. Well, I hope that answers your question, Austin.
All right. Next up from Jared Crampton.
Jerry!
Reagan made the statement that the Bills' D-line is even with the Eagles' D-line. I would like to hear a little debate ski.
A little debate ski?
Well, do you agree ski with or do you disagree ski? Because I mean, when you look at it, like it's not like I don't think you guys realize like that's not really a crazy take. So for a little context for those of you, I got in a debate with Jared and Luke in one of our fantasy chats, if you even know who those guys are. But anyway, it stemmed from the fact that we were debating Hurts versus Josh Allen, and Luke was trying to say that Hurts, he was basically discrediting everything he did because he has so much talent around him. And like, well, let's not act like Josh Allen has nobody around him. And then we were like breaking down the groups and stuff, and I was like, yeah, like the D-lines are pretty even to me. I don't really think the Eagles' D-line is that much better. Like, I think they're pretty even. Like, I mean, the Bills got guys like Ed Oliver, AJ Espin. How do you pronounce it? Epinesa. Floyd's been having a crazy year. Floyd's got like 9 sacks already this year.
Floyd was a good ad for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Von Miller's not even healthy yet. Like, what happens when he gets back to like full form? Like, let's not forget he missed the first 4 games on the IR. So they got a couple decent guys over there, and like, yeah, your biggest point was, the Bills are ranked number 20 against the run while the Eagles are number 1. Yeah, that is true. But also, let's not forget Matt Milano, one of the best middle linebackers, let alone the best like run-stopping middle linebacker. Yeah, he is out for the season. So the fact that he's not there does skew those numbers. And yeah, the Bills do have more sacks on the season by like 9, I think it is.
Bills have 41, Eagles have 32.
Yeah, so 9. Like, and
good math.
Granted, they played one. Well, I said it before you even told me it. That's what I'm just saying.
I was just confirming for you. I was having your back there.
I appreciate that. And on top of that, the Bills have played one more game, but still, like, it's not like right there and then. They're really close. Like, it's not that crazy. Like, the Bills also have a better secondary, or at least safety play. Like, the Eagles' corners are definitely better. But still, these teams are very even on paper, so the fact that you thought it was, like, blasphemous for me to say this is kind of crazy. You guys said that was the worst take in chat history, and I don't think it is, because we've had some bad takes.
Yeah, the point where the Bills have more sacks this year, that's probably your strongest point there. The Bills' defensive line is loaded with a lot of first-round picks. Rousseau, Oliver, Von Miller.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even say Greg Rousseau. But this is my point. Like,
Leonard
it's not,
Floyd, AJ Epinesa.
That's my point. They got guys,
it's a deep
man.
defensive line, for sure. I will say, though, this year, like, Ed Oliver is having the best season of his career.
Yeah, he's having a great year.
And you bring over Leonard Floyd from the Rams, and he has 9 sacks. That's huge, because Von Miller's not even fully
and
there
a lot
yet.
of it, I feel like a lot of the struggles also have to deal with the fact that like losing a guy like Matt Milano makes this unit look worse. Like if they had Matt Milano, this unit would be even better. Like, think about it, how big of a loss that is to the team.
Yeah, I know.
They've had so many injuries in the secondary. Like, it's tough. It really is tough. Like, I feel like their D-line is a huge reason they've been in a lot of these games.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills definitely have a great defensive line. I still give the edge to the Eagles slightly. I mean, let's not forget last year the Eagles had, over 70 sacks? Like, was it the most or second most in NFL history?
Yeah, they did. They had a crazy year last year.
They just keep pumping defensive linemen. I mean, Brandon Graham's been there forever. So is Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Jalen Carter, the best rookie defensive lineman. Like, they're both absolutely loaded. So,
well, that's my whole point. It's really not like that crazy of a debate. Like, they're like, if you want to lean on the Eagles, fine, but like, there's definitely a debate there. Like, to me, it's not like something where it's like there's no debate there.
Yeah, I mean, I still give the edge to the Eagles slightly, but it's definitely it's
slightly.
debatable. It's debatable. It's debatable.
You wouldn't call it a cold take, would you?
I wouldn't call it a cold take. I wouldn't call it a flaming hot take either.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like more of an opinion. There's no like official line rankings that you go on so many different websites.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, particularly against the run. I mean, the Eagles have Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter in the middle, where the Bills kind of rely on Ed Oliver. So,
well, especially now that
Milano's out, but the Eagles don't have stud linebacker play either.
That's true.
So, I mean, that the Eagles are more stout up the middle, but with the edge rushers, with Von Miller back, like, yeah, it's definitely an elite pass rushing tandem that they have.
All right, next it looks like a fantasy question. He asked, who was the biggest draft day value?
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Fantasy? Man.
I mean, if anyone took Stroud super late, that's already a value right there.
Stroud's a great value.
I'd say Kyler, Kamara, and Taylor have been great values because you drafted them late and sat on them, and now they've all been producing. Top 12s at their position.
I took Devon Achane in like round 18, but now he's hurt.
Yeah.
But before he got hurt, that was good. Tank Dell's definitely up there, man. Tank Dell was going late.
Took a shot on Tank Dell.
Tank Dell has been balling out.
Honestly, if you take any of the Texans' weapons outside of really,
because they were all like stashed way late.
Damian Pierce is like the only one that hasn't returned on value. Like you could say any of their weapons, like Dalton Schultz been good, Nico Collins. Like, I mean, nobody probably took Noah Brown, but who else? I mean, in the first round, like, I guess if you, like, McCaffrey really has been a steal. I mean, actually, I'd say Tyreek, because, like, there are people out there that reached up on him, and then if you waited and, he wasn't going, like, top 5, like, I think his ADP was, like, end of the first round, so.
No, it was like around 5 or 6. His
was
ADP.
It? I don't know. It did fluctuate a lot, because obviously, like, Cooper Kupp injury right before a lot of drafts.
Yeah.
Who else? I'd say White on the Bucks.
Yeah, Rashad White's a good one.
He's a top 12 running back right now, and you would have drafted him like 5th, 6th round. So
it's a good question, man. I mean, I took Christian Kirk in the end of round 8 when a lot of people took Ridley in the 3rd, and Kirk's had a better year.
Ayuk was at that point too.
Yeah, Ayuk was like round 7. Ayuk's been playing really well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dave's doing a fist bump.
That a boy, Drock.
Oh,
what we got next?
All right, so that was it from Jared, but I got a little question. I saw. After Frank Reich got fired today, they have now had 6 coaches since 2019, the Panthers.
6?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Can you guys name those 6 coaches since 2019?
Well, Frank Reich, Matt Rule, Steve Wilkes,
Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera, yeah, but that's...
There's 4. One guy that was there for a year after Ron Rivera.
Oh... Yeah, they have been shit.
Yeah.
That's why it's so tough, because these guys are just so shit. Did Joe Brady ever take over, or they never did?
No.
Because I know he was their OC. That was like the big pairing.
Are you talking about the interims? Like, who's the interim right now as well?
Yeah. Well, that's the last one. That would be 6.
I didn't even see who they announced for the interim.
Oh man, it's not a very it's not a well-known name. I know that.
I'm just trying to find the 5th because I didn't even see who they announced yet. I just saw the.
Well, who's the intern? It was Steve Wilkes last year. Was the intern for
Steve
Rule.
Wilkes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So there was an interim after Rivera, I believe, and then obviously now the interim for.
Who's the interim now?
It's Chris Tabor.
Chris Tabor. Yeah.
Okay, and then who was it for Rivera?
Perry Fewell.
Yeah.
Perry Fewell, former Giants DC.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, I actually forgot that he became the interim head coach. Yeah, but Perry Fewell.
It's just it's crazy that they've had 6.
Sorry, Dalf.
And I think the Steelers have had like 4 since like 19 60 something.
I think it was like
Yeah.
4. Yeah, it's like 60s or like the
Yeah.
40s, bro. It's like, yeah.
Must be nice.
Well, that's why they are where they are right now. If you don't have stable coaching, you're never going to be a successful franchise.
Yeah.
And that's basically all we got right now.
That's all we got. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to break down these games.
What's up, guys? I'm here to tell you about Masterpiece Designs. Our friends over there, Ed and Faith, have been doing a great job so far with all the merch. They made both shirts for us, the hats. They came out great. And next up, they're making sweatshirts for us. So if you have any interest in that, check them out, and they can make whatever you want for you.
All right, guys, welcome back in. We're going to get right into the Week 12 recap. Let's start out with the Thanksgiving games, Colin. What do we got first?
First game on the day, Reagan. A heartbreaker for you, my friend, because you were officially eliminated from Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I should have just trusted my own gut and listened to myself. I've been saying the Lions are frauds. Their defense is trash, and once again, we saw them not be able to defend. So I'm calling it now. First round exit in the playoffs. I don't care.
Whoa! First round exit.
They can't play defense. They allow like 25 plus every week, it feels like.
So who do you think they're going to end up playing? Like, if it happened right now, Dallas is the
They'd
5.
probably be locked in at the 3 seed. So
They'd be
they would
locked
be
in
playing the 6 seed.
Well, they could be the 2.
I don't think
with
they're
San
gonna get the
Francisco.
2.
I
don't
doubt
think
it.
they're
I
gonna
doubt
get
it. But
San Fran and Philly just seem like they're going to run away with the 1 and 2 right now.
I know. I agree with you. So it seems like Detroit's a 3.
So they'll be
Seattle?
playing Seattle, who already beat them.
Yes, Seattle did beat them in overtime way back when.
Minnesota, who they play twice, so we'll see how that goes.
Minnesota, man. I don't know. Those don't seem like those teams just don't
I don't
pop
know,
out
man.
at me.
Yeah, but those teams, we've also seen those teams struggle against teams with good defenses. Like Seattle lights up teams with bad defenses.
Yeah, so you're calling a first round exit, huh?
Yeah.
I think you're just a little tight that you're out of Survivor after you were talking
I
smack
am,
to
but
Chirp
also-
last week. You're like, see ya, buddy, in the chat. And now I can't wait for after this game tonight because I'm going to put in the chat, see ya, buddy, you're gone. I'm still alive. I had the Chiefs this
Maybe
week.
we'll get
I'm
a
still
stat
alive.
correction or something.
The defending co-champ is still alive.
Did they ever mess up on the box score by like 10 points?
I actually think it's funny that you said you tried to fade your gut and it didn't work.
It did not. Nope.
Speaking of that, this week,
Gotta trust your gut always.
thus
If
far,
you can't trust your gut, what can you trust?
exactly. That's a fact.
A man in his gut.
So far this week, with one game pending tonight,
Let's
Bears,
move on.
Vikings.
We can move on.
Reagan wants to move on.
I
Reagan
wanna
went
move on.
7-8 money line.
Money. I
bringing-
got money.
I went 8-7. Not very good. I went 8-7 against the spread. Reagan went 3-12.
Ooh.
This guy's
The past 2
You
weeks.
should definitely fade me. That's
The
all I'm
past
saying.
2 weeks, Reagan is now 6-22-1 against the spread to bring his season total to 81-92-5.
I will say
You were
I'm-
talking all that shit in week 8. Now where are we?
I will say I'm very happy that I don't bet every game individually because I would be a very broke man. I am glad I don't do that. That would suck.
I'm now 89-84-5 against the spread. I'm 109-69
Wait, what am I on the money line?
Nice.
Am I beating you or you're
on the
beating
money
me?
line. I'm beating you. 109-69. You're 105-73.
Spread, I know you're killing me because I've been ice.
I'm whooping that ass, brother.
baby.
So yeah, the Packers beat the Lions 29-22. Detroit drops to 8-3. The Packers are now 5-6. Big Jordan Love game against that defense that you have just been shitting on for the last few weeks, Reagan. He threw for 268 and 3 touchdowns, including Christian Watson had 5 for 94. Zach's boy
Yeah.
Jaden Reed scores again.
Yeah, he had a
4
good
for
game.
34 and a
He
touchdown.
seems to be the real deal, Jaden Reed. It's kind of crazy. I feel like there's been a lot of rookies going off this year for fantasy.
Yeah,
especially.
absolutely, man. Especially the wide receiver class.
I feel like we haven't seen this in many years. It might be because it's such a deep class for wide receivers, but usually you see a couple that show flashes. But this year, it's like so many guys you could point to.
You know what I think it is too, Reagan? Like this year, the first receiver picked was 20th overall. We've gotten kind of spoiled the last several years. Jefferson going high,
Yep.
Chase,
and
Lamb,
and JSN
Waddle.
really hasn't been good for fantasy.
No.
Granted, he's probably
It's-
in the worst situation in terms of like
Because
not
he's wide
long-term,
receiver
but in
3.
short term,
Yes, yeah. But it's a lot of guys that got picked later in the draft that are having great seasons.
Yeah.
So that's what's pretty cool about it. For the Lions, Goff threw for 332 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but was freaking strip sacked 3 times.
Yeah, he got
gosh.
sacked 3 times, and he fumbled
And this
quite a
defense
bit.
can't.
3 fumbles,
This defense
3
made
losses.
Jordan Love look like the real deal too. I mean, holy
We've seen
crap.
Jordan Love have huge games and just terrible games. I don't know what to think of Jordan Love at this
I think
point.
the Packers at this point obviously they could still make the playoffs. It's very, very much in their grasp. But
I think they're
at
one
this
game
point,
back in the win column.
yeah, at this point, Jordan Love is their starter next year. I think that's no doubt in my mind. I don't see how they go and draft a late quarterback.
They can't.
next
Plus,
year.
they already gave him that.
That's what I'm saying. I think
somewhat fifth-year option.
I think you have to give him one more year next year. Depending, like this year already seems you've seen the flashes. He has to put it all together next year to know for certain. But definitely showing some flashes. But what's up next? I'm done with this bum ass team in the Lions.
You already want to move on from this game?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it anymore?
No.
You're good?
Yeah, let's talk about Dak and the boys.
Okay, so we'll move on to Dak and the boys rolling Washington. I'm pretty sure you took Washington against the spread in this one, Reagan. It'd be a safe bet considering they got blown out.
And it would also be a safe bet to say any team that didn't, they got blown out. I'm pretty sure you took that team, right? And I'd be like, yeah, that's safe to say.
Cowboys won 45-10, improved to 8-3, including 5-0 at home. Their home field advantage legit.
Hey, and Bland with a 5th pick six.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
is he going to be the decoy? Is he going to be the decoy?
We mentioned it in last week's pod, Reagan. You brought it up, man. One more to set the record, and he did it. 2 days later, he did it. I mean, it's very impressive, especially considering he wasn't even supposed to be a major factor in that secondary until Diggs got hurt. Makes it all that more impressive.
That it does.
I mean, Sam Howell did his thing, throwing for 300 yards. I don't know why.
He's leading the league in passing yards.
He leads the league in passing yards.
Granted, he has played one more game, but still, he is leading the league currently.
No touchdowns in one pick. Only got sacked 4 times.
Sucks at running.
Yeah, Drock took his over rushing.
What do you got? He was close.
He had 2 for 13. Yeah, you had 16, right?
Well, we didn't.
He had 13.
At least
I know, but you
had
had
your hat
15
on
and a half.
saying
15 and a half, yeah.
it doesn't matter if the parlay went 2 of 6 or 3 of 6. We still didn't hit.
Yeah, we didn't
But
hit.
I did have a couple
We didn't
people hit me
hit.
up saying that they threw on every single one, so feel bad for those guys.
Yeah, sorry, guys. We let you down this week, but just keep rocking with us because, you'd be up. We're still up over 40 units.
We're cooking this week.
In total,
Yeah, we are-
But I mean, on the parlay, we're only up like 8, I think, at this point.
Oh,
Still.
that's positive.
Hey, we're in the green, baby. But
We
yeah,
are
I
in
mean,
the green.
the Cowboys' offense was cooking in this one. Pollard 13 for 79 and a touchdown. Cooks 4 for 72 and a
Also-
touchdown. Lamb 4 for 53 and a touchdown.
We were talking about it before, like before the podcast. Me, Joe, and Colin. Like Dak has got to be considered an MVP candidate at this point. I mean,
He threw for 331
He's got-
and 4
in
touchdowns.
his
But it
I
is
was
the
looking-
Commanders'
in
defense.
his past,
Everyone beats him in
his
the air.
past 5 games, he has 19 touchdowns and 2 turnovers.
That's very impressive
he's-
because this year coming in, everyone's like, oh, he has
Yeah.
this crazy turnover issues
he's only
because he
got
led the
6
league in turnovers last year.
Only has 6 interceptions on the year. So what did he come in and say he won't throw double-digit picks this year? Is what he said.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got to tip the
looking-
cap.
looking good
You got to
so
tip the
far.
cap. You got to
Looking
tip the
good so
cap.
far.
Legit.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I mean, if he's to win the MVP, certainly has a good chance to do it because he's got a tough schedule coming up. So if he's to continue this hot streak, I mean, I don't know how they don't give it to him if he goes out and beats the Eagles. I mean, that'll put him in
Facts.
great
He
conversation.
does chug against
If they
While
beat the
Hurts
Eagles,
is-
man. If
while
they beat the
Hurts-
Eagles.
While Hurts is the favorite for the MVP right now, there's no quarterback right now because it's the quarterback award.
That's a
Let's be
home game
honest.
for them too against the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowboys are very good at home.
Little
Very
upset.
good at
Little
home, man.
upset
And
there.
that's what do? They win at home and they blow out bad teams and they lose to good teams. So
They do
There's
suck.
no
that Eagles game will be a huge test for them.
There's no clear cut guy for the MVP right now. Is my point though. So
No, there isn't. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are in the conversation. Hurts, Lamar, Dak,
Yeah.
as you just mentioned. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, next, Reagan. Our big bet of the week. Oh, man. Why do you back Seattle so hard?
Well,
Why do you fade the 49ers? 31 to 13.
looking good. It was looking good. It was looking good. I thought at halftime I was dead. Then all of a sudden Seattle came out, got a pick 6, gets the big stop. They're driving downfield. They kick the field goal, unfortunately, and then it's like I think what was it, 21-13 at that point, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh boy, Collins.
It was 24-13.
I'm like, was it
24-13, yes.
Okay, so Collins on his couch, like gut just popped out, button burst.
Post-Thanksgiving meal.
Post-Thanksgiving meal,
Lots of
I'm like, that chud's definitely sweating his ass off right now.
No, I never had to worry. It's the 49ers, man. I knew you'd be wearing that turkey costume on Black Friday. If you haven't done so, check out Caleb Dean's video.
Yeah.
The special. Phenomenal video. And Reagan was in the turkey costume all day with the hood on, with the
most of
gizzard, with the gizzard. Yeah,
Yeah.
you took
It was
like
windy
a
and
champ.
Any
fairness.
random encounters of people coming up
Oh,
to you?
dude, so many.
That's
Some
awesome.
guy was like, Hammer, he's like, I'm going to eat you. I was like, and then I saw some guy walking around with like a Thanksgiving turkey hat, and I'm like, oh, they got you, man, huh?
You make buddies with him?
And then one of the
It's hilarious.
It was such a good punishment. It was so funny.
that's great.
And it made it even better because Reagan's the Jets fan. I don't
Right,
give a
right,
shit,
yeah.
man. I'm a Giants fan. I'm just there to have a good time,
That's great.
Have some beers. Like, fuck it.
there was another one where the security guard's like, wasn't your day yesterday? I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then he's like, oh, watch out, somebody puked there as I like almost stepped in it.
That's great.
That would have sucked. But yeah, man, the Niners are they're a juggernaut. They look back to the Niners we saw all of last year and beginning of this year before that little hiccup.
Yeah.
McCaffrey 19 for 114 and 2 touchdowns, automatic. Debo 7 for 79. Good shit, Joe, in your parlay pick. Ayuk 2 for 50 and a touchdown.
Stud.
Yeah, he's a stud. That touchdown at the end of the game was kind of the icing on the cake there. That was cool to see. Now, for the Seahawks, Geno did stick it out. He did play, so we did stick to the 6.5 point line, unfortunately for you.
I don't know
What are
if
you
it's
laughing at?
because you're juggling over there. And
Sorry.
You're distracted. I mean, Reagan, stop trying to change the subject.
No,
You're
no,
wearing
I'm not
turkey
getting
costume.
distracted. I just don't know about the audio because all I hear is swoosh, swoosh, and he's juggling the tape.
Drock's over there playing with a roll of tape. Like a freaking
I just got a
like a
kit.
toddler, dude.
I just got a kitten. He looks like the cat I just got. Oh, okay.
Reagan, is it fair to say that the Seahawks missed Kenneth Walker or Charbonnet 14 for 47? That's 3.4 average.
It's definitely a factor,
The Niners,
but
the Niners run defense the
Yeah.
elite. Wouldn't have made a big difference
No,
in this game.
Maybe
I don't
they
think.
cover with Walker. They probably cover with Walker. So I guess we'll just chalk it up to that. But no, yeah, I think Seattle's just outmatched here.
Yeah,
and Geno. I mean, granted, Geno wasn't 100%, but he does not look like the same guy from last year. He struggled a lot this year.
No, I tried to warn you
I think,
preseason. I tried to warn you preseason. I told you.
The Niners were definitely eating.
I still think they're going to be a playoff team, though.
I mean, they're 6-5 in a very poor NFC. I do think they squeak it out as well. I think they get in, but I mean, JSN was the leading receiver. He had 2 for 41. Man, I mean, the passing game was not there. And
Yeah, man.
You mentioned with
Yeah,
Funga
I took
out,
Tyler Lockett, dude. I thought, and there was so much garbage time, and they couldn't
3
do
for
anything
30.
even in garbage time.
3 for
man.
30 for Lockett. So definitely frustrating for you, my friend. But I was pretty happy to close out my
Well, let's
Thanksgiving.
move on to something else that's definitely frustrating.
Oh, if you
for
were
me.
pissed off then, you might be pissed off now. The
Yeah.
Black Friday special, first ever Black Friday game, and the boys were there. Dolphins win 34-13 behind Raheem Mostert, 20 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 8 for 114. Tyreek,
Waddle.
9 for 102 and a touchdown. The big three showed up for Miami. Now, for your boy Tim Boyle, Reagan. Did you like what you saw?
No.
Cashes yards though.
You know,
He did.
was,
He threw for $179 on 38 attempts. I did say that. I was like, he might throw the ball 40 times.
175 was such a low line. I knew it was gonna hit.
Yeah, Caleb was for Caleb's channel. He was like, "Oh, can I ask you some questions I made up?" So he's like, "Oh, what do you think Tim Boyle's stat line is?" I go, 120, but he throws the ball like 50 times. It's like it's gonna be ugly. And
Brees
it
Hall's
was-
receptions was also such a lot.
Dude, he got so many
Yeah,
catches. Didn't do nothing.
Line was
Unfortunately.
3.5. Cash my
I
parlay.
hammered Brees Hall over 26.5 yards. You think if he had 7 catches, he'd get more than 25. So I lost by 2 yards.
yeah.
I was
I
a
mean,
little upset about that.
It's hard for it to work when you know, like,
On
hey,
seven-
when you know every single time, hey, either Brees Hall or Garrett Wilson's getting the ball.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, man. At least Garrett Wilson scored a touchdown there, Reagan.
And I would say the worst part about this is, like, it would have been one thing if the Dolphins just ran away with it from the start. But I mean, freaking, it's 10-0. I'm like, all right, this game's over. It's over. Then the Jets get the pick six. I'm like, holy shit, we're back. I'm all in. I'm like, I'm all invested now.
Oh my god!
Hail
And
Mary time,
Yeah.
The
baby.
pick six.
And the worst
to
part
end the
about
half
it is
on a Hail Mary
if DJ
was
Reed,
sick.
if DJ Reed doesn't pick that ball off, or we just kneel it out, like it's 10-6 going into halftime, we might have a game. They throw the pick six. I'm like, all right, we're freaking done. We were with one of our friends, Annabelle, that was there. She hit a crazy plus 9,000 parlay.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude!
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
was-
She
Oh, he didn't
She
hear.
put $5. Tyreek Hill, Jets defense, Dolphins defense, won $450 off a $5
Yeah.
bet.
All the
She
scoring
took
touchdowns.
both defenses, and then with a pick six at the half, we were like, she was like, "Oh my god, I won!" I'm like, "Holy shit!" We were all like, "Oh my god!"
She's
Yeah,
showing
he-
me back here.
It's like the craziest bet I've ever
I
seen.
felt so bad
With
though.
the wheel taking Dolphins' first touchdown score, I kind of
Yeah.
want to just sprinkle it any
The
time.
wheel, yeah, dude. No, honestly,
Oh,
anytime was so
anytime.
nice
Was
with
it
Tim
the
Boyle.
second touchdown, right? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, no,
Second.
third.
Third.
Yeah, because the Jets
Jets was
defense
second.
scored.
Yeah,
Tyreek
Jets
Hill
defense
scored.
scored second, Dolphins
Bro,
defense
it was
third.
it was funny though. I felt so bad. She's like, "Look what I hit! Look what I hit!" And I'm just sitting there. I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, "Stop!" I'm like, and I apologize. Like, I'm
Oh
like,
shit!
I'm not-
Yeah, that cash before
I'm like-
halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
that's
the cash
crazy.
in the first half.
Cashing a plus $9,000 plus 9,000 parlay at halftime is crazy. But also, I was just like, I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, I feel bad, but like, I'm not gonna high five you right now. I'm just too
I wish
upset.
she told me what a tail.
Wow.
I was saying that, but I was like, if she told me to tell that, I wouldn't have told it because I'd have just been like, dude, there's no way both defenses are scoring. Or it'd have been like,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, well, you didn't. I mean, you listened to your gut, Reagan, and you failed.
Well, you did. Did you take it?
No, I had too much shit pending. I didn't.
So you knew about it, but you didn't.
I actually didn't know about it until the game started.
I didn't know about it until after.
I wish I knew about it, but I don't think that would have
She's
changed
sharp.
anything. But
Get her on the pod.
Yeah, get her on the pod. That'd be a good idea. All
Yeah,
right,
my
so
spot, I'm terrible.
next, let's talk about the Giants, baby. 10-7 win over the Patriots. Man, Drock, what do you think of that? Such an ugly game, but
The worst game.
DeVito! You know what I liked about Tommy DeVito in this one?
That what?
He got the ball to Jalen Hyatt downfield.
Oh yeah.
Finally
We've been
got
missing that all year because Jalen Hyatt's been getting open, man. He's got that elite start and stop ability, but he made some nice catches outside in the rain, outside his frame, toe tapping on the sideline. It was really impressive for Jalen Hyatt. Definitely very excited if you're a Giants fan. And DeVito made that sick throw where he stepped up in the pocket where he almost got hit from behind and threw that
And
rope
then
down the
Hodgins-
sideline.
Hodgins also had a sick
Hyatt caught.
touchdown
That was
catch.
sick. Yeah, Hodgins finally, bro. I mean, Hodgins was so good last year. He's just been absent this year. Sucks because I was a big Hodgins fan.
Get rid of Mac
Jalen
Jones.
Hyatt
Patriots
has more
side of things
100-yard
is rough.
receiving games than JSN, Quentin Johnson, and Flowers too.
Where'd you
Wow.
see that, Giants
Yeah.
Twitter?
Probably.
Giants
Sorry.
That's the
Wow.
most Giants Twitter. I mean, that is crazy to think about.
Yeah, but DeVito threw for 191 and a touchdown, man. You know what? DeVito obviously is not the...
I got. We're talking stats here. Tommy DeVito is leading all New York quarterbacks in touchdown passes this year.
By
He
a
had.
decent amount.
By
He
two
has.
now.
I'm pretty sure he has one less touchdown by himself than the entire Jets offense. So.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah, no, I actually know that as a fact. He
oh,
has
if we
one
had
less
Tommy
touchdown.
DeVito, we'd be in the Super Bowl now.
No, obviously DeVito's not the long-term answer, but it's a fun story, man. And honestly, he's playing his way into being potentially
you know why?
the backup next year, which saves him a lot of money because you don't have to
he's
pay
definitely
Tyrod
not. Dude, he's
$5 or $6 million. You got
Potentially?
DeVito, who's what,
There's no
800K?
potential, dude. He's definitely your backup next year. There's no
Oh
potential
yeah,
about
definitely.
it.
His name is going to live also
Dude,
for years.
what do you got- how many-
Giants
Yeah.
fans.
He still got sacked 6 times, but I mean, he's like the Mike White to the Jets. Like he'll always be a
He's so
legend
fun,
now.
and he's probably gonna make
He is like Mike White.
money because
Yeah.
he's working into a backup role.
Well,
Like,
that's what happened with Mike White.
Yeah, exactly.
The Dolphins gave him like fucking like $6 or $7 million to come be their backup.
Yeah.
Like somebody may pay him.
people
Not
pay
right now,
backup quarterbacks now, especially after this year with how many people got hurt.
He's so
Yeah.
young, bro. He's so young.
Yeah, he's an undrafted rookie, so it's a cool story. For the Patriots, Mac Jones started the game, threw for 89 yards and 2 picks in the first half. He would have had a higher passer rating if he spiked the ball every time than actually playing quarterback,
That's wild.
which is crazy. So then he comes out in the second half. We're all like, oh, here comes Bailey Zappi. And Bailey Zappi went 9 of 14 for 54 yards
Wasn't the
and an
first drive a
interception.
touchdown though for him as soon as he came out or no?
Yeah, no, they scored.
Because he looked. a
Yeah,
lot,
but it was
he
Ramondre.
better
It
than
was,
Mac.
but it was Ramondre in the ground, 21 for 98 and a touchdown. So Ramondre was the fuel of their offense.
Yeah,
but
I'm just saying he looks better than Mac Jones.
yeah, well, yeah, because Mac Jones
Which is
QBR
hard
was
to do.
yeah, because Mac
But-
Jones QBR was 7.2 and
I
Zappi's
say
was
at this point,
20.6.
man,
So I guess he looked a little better.
Anytime someone runs up on Mac Jones, he just throws the ball. Like when he sees
Or
someone.
he kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
big nut
he might be
toucher.
the dirtiest player in the league. I'm not even.
Dude,
gonna
I
lie.
think they give Cunningham a chance at this point. Like, what do you have to lose? The guy's
is he
pretty
even still on the
athletic.
roster? I saw him get waived like
They
6
waive
times
him.
this
They
year.
add him. I think that's more of like a salary cap, like flex type of thing. Like
It is.
It's
No, it's
more
it's
like a front
manipulating the
office,
roster.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it has
still.
anything to do with not liking the talent. I say they give him a chance at this point because you know what you got in the other 2 bums. Also, Bill Belichick is just playing chess. I feel like he told him to go out and miss that kick. Man,
Nah, you can't tell.
I don't
players.
No way,
Dude,
Bill Belichick, the
Belichick
most
is playing
winningest
chess,
coach
man.
ever. Is not
You
gonna
know
say.
he's got.
He's
You
doing
know
that.
he's ready for another run, and he's gonna get whoever he gets in this draft is gonna be the best quarterback. I don't whether it's Caleb
So
Williams,
you think he
Drake May.
stays?
I do, and I
They're
think,
winning a tank.
and I think he's gonna win like
right
2 or 3 Super Bowls with whoever they get, dude. I'm terrified as a Jet fan. The fact that they're gonna end up getting either Caleb Williams or Drake May is scary. Very scary.
I actually think, I think they get Drake May.
Yeah,
Scary.
I think they're gonna get Drake May.
I wouldn't even be shocked, dude. Would it shock you if the Patriots had the first pick and took Drake May over Caleb Williams?
No,
It wouldn't at all, because you know Belichick wants his
I think
guy.
if the Giants had that too, they would also take Drake May.
It's possible. I mean,
No, I think the Giants. I don't know.
it's
I
definitely more
don't
of a
know.
debate, man.
I think,
feel
but Caleb's like, I don't know, man. It's such an interesting debate.
getting closer
Because Drake's better in the
I
pocket,
agree.
but Caleb makes more spectacular plays. But also Drake makes insane throws off platform too. But I don't know, man. I don't know. The Patriots are in trouble. That's for damn sure. And the Giants, man. Just think if they didn't blow that game with the Jets and they scored from the 1 yard line against the Bills, they'd somehow be 6-6. It's actually
Yeah.
ridiculous
Well,
because
just
they were
think
the
if-
favorites to get Caleb Williams last week.
3 games out of the playoffs.
Just think
right now.
if the Jets didn't play on MetLife, we'd be in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, man. It
Yeah.
sucks to think, but these
want-
are the
you-
cards we're dealt, man.
We're on the Jets game. I mean, we're in the Giants game, not the Jets game.
Oh, I'm sorry. All
right.
I'm so sorry that you were doing the sexy Dexy when the Jets beat you guys. Just think if Dave Kershaw didn't jinx it, you guys would be 5 and you'd have 5 wins right now.
All right, Reagan, next. My Falcons, baby.
Oh,
Let's go.
man.
A big one. A big one, dude. The Falcons are 5-6. The Saints are 5-6 after the Falcons win 24-15. And I said, I don't feel very confident, but at least they're playing at home. And Desmond Ridder plays better at home.
Yeah.
And he didn't even play that well. 13-21 for a $168, a touchdown, 2
He
picks.
played terrible, dude.
But Bijan, baby, 16 for 91 and a touchdown on the ground and added 3 for 32 and a touchdown through the air. Come on, baby. It's Bijan season.
Yeah, it looks like Algier's season is coming to an end.
He's still at 10 carries for 64.
Yeah, but still. I mean, it seems like
Pretty
it's...
nice, actually.
Yeah, no, he's good. He should be the starting running back, let's be honest.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he was more efficient.
You're gonna
6.4
stop- you're gonna stop beating that
6.4 or 5.7? I don't know. I know you're a math guy, so you tell me what's better.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Whoa!
All right, Your Saints,
Whoa!
though. Your Saints, though. Derek Carr threw for 304 and a pick.
Well, it's a
but
classic
I
Saints
heard
game. It's a classic Saints game.
he threw a pick 6 to Jesse Bates. That kind of sealed it.
No, that was early. That was early
in the
on.
game,
Oh,
yeah.
my bad.
You see, Michael Thomas also deleted a post that was on that pick 6, and it was throwing some shade at Derek Carr.
I mean,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, because didn't Derek
Mike
Carr,
Thomas is
didn't
also
Derek Carr,
throwing-
I saw
chucking
something
bricks
about
at
Kobe.
people.
Someone said it was just like, it was a good read or something like that, and he's like, you sure about that?
Oh, jeez.
fine.
it was a bad read, but dude, this offense is once they get to the red zone, it does not go well. And I mean, half of that could be as soon as they get to the red zone, their first play is also give it to Taysom Hill, and then he gets a 2-yard game, and you're already at 2nd and 8. So I don't know, but I know the fact
offense
that
is rough.
kicking 5 field goals like this team, if they can just punch it in a couple times in the red zone, this could be a completely different team.
5 field goals is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, on the
I'm
bright
pretty
side, at least
What was the
Olave
long?
had
What was
114.
and Groupie missed the 6th. He had a 6, like he could have had 6.
Your boy Groupie, though, showed up.
His
Yeah.
long was 52. He went 5 of 6.
Like, still missed another. I
At
want
least
him gone.
Olave had 114. That's good.
Yeah, it was.
And
all,
at least your parlay-
No, he left
your
the game
parlay
early
leg
though.
hit.
He left. Yeah, that's true. He left the game early though, Olave. So
All right, Reagan.
Yeah, all
So are
his
you
production in
feeling
the
you
first
starting
one.
to sweat out over 9.5 with those Saints at now sitting at 5 and 6?
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely sweating a
Because
little
I can
bit.
tell you, I'm sweating out Falcons over 8.5, and
I
they're
will.
5 and 6.
Well, yeah, I need my boys to get a big win this week against Atlanta. Also, I think I'm gonna if I have to eat the hot dogs, like I'm gonna put on a clinic. I'll do better than you could.
Yeah, I
Definitely
think,
better at sucking hot dogs. Than you
I
are.
think you're better suited for the dogs than I am. Just
Yeah.
a,
Better
just a
suited
hunch
for eating
though.
pie, though.
Just a hunch though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Just a hunch.
Just a hunch.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. You tell me.
You don't know what a hunch means?
No. You maybe got to be more clear with me.
Go Red Hawks. All right, next. The Steelers, Reagan, beat the Bengals 16-10. We both were off on this one. We thought it was like, wow, only 1 point? Let's take the Bengals, you know?
Let's
Something
take the
seems
Bengals.
off here. But finally, the Steelers go for over 400 yards for
How
the
about
first time
my boy
since
Najee?
2018.
How about my boy Najee?
Let's go, Ed. Let's go, Ed.
Can we
Yeah.
give Najee some love? 99 rushing yards? Come on now.
Still couldn't get 100, but it's fine. 15
yeah,
for
no, he
99
did,
and a touchdown.
He did have 100, and then he had
He lost
and then he
yards.
lost
Oh
1
my
yard, and I was like,
God.
I know, and then he didn't get another carry, and I was like, but hey,
That's brutal.
if you put together a couple more of those, we might be cashing. I might have to go find the Najee scraps, man, after that game. I might have to find that ticket
Dude,
again.
he ran for 99. Like, McCaffrey ran for over 100. He still lost ground.
Yeah, but like McCaffrey's good.
Yeah, well, true. He was more effective than Warren in this game. Warren had 13 for 49.
And Warren also had a bad fumble, too.
I
Yeah.
had this over, and that was the last leg of my parlay for 400, and his line was like 51.5. So.
That is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. The return of Pat Freiermuth, Reagan. 9
move.
for 120. Move. Love to see that if you're a Steelers fan. One thing that is concerning, though, you got over 400 yards finally, but you still only scored 16 points.
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple bad turnovers. Like Warren fumbled in the red zone. Actually, that may have only been the bad
That was the
turnover.
only turnover.
But-
Pickett didn't throw an
That
interception.
Deontay Johnson just standing there right next to him.
Oh,
watching
he's
them.
catching
Yeah.
heat right now, man.
A lot of
He's
heat.
catching heat.
And it
What
was
did he
the play
end up
before
doing?
too? He dropped the ball in the end zone.
Well, there was wasn't it the Warren fumble where he just stood there?
Yeah,
and he
that was
Yeah.
but that was the play right before he had a touchdown, drops it, didn't secure the catch, and then I guess he was just all pissed off, and then just watched him fumble it, and they picked it up and ran it.
Yeah, and he just stood there. He didn't try to. He didn't try to make the tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I like
that's
how these
not
players
good.
get like so butthurt when they don't like get involved, but it's like, dude, your team's good. Like, you have a good chance to
Yeah,
make the
I mean
playoffs.
the Steelers are 7-4 right now, man, and their offense is just awful.
And then they got guys like Pickens and Deontay Johnson crying.
Yeah, actually,
they're
though,
7-4.
that's actually a great point. They do get really upset. Probably with small hands Pickett more so than anything. For the Bengals, Jake Browning threw for 227, a touchdown to pick. Against the Steelers defense, that's actually not too bad. It's all right.
Yeah.
But, it's not terrible.
I mean, Jamar had a pretty good
4
game.
for 81. His long was 31.
And that one long was like a tipped ball that wasn't even supposed to go to him, so could have been a lot worse.
His over was only 63 too, so
Yeah.
he smashed that.
Yeah, it also doesn't help when Mixon goes 8 for 16 on the ground, and the only other carries was Browning 3 for 9. So when you go 11 for 25 and you expect Browning to step in as a starter against this vaunted Steelers defense, not a recipe for success. Bengals
Not
at
at
5-6. Season is over. Don't worry, my championship ticket is already ripped up, boys. We don't have to worry about that one anymore.
Yeah, that was a bad take.
All right, next. Yeah, it was funny because as soon as I started beating the drum to that, it's like Burrow got hurt 2 weeks later.
It always
It's like,
happened. It's always how it goes.
like that is just a heartbreaker.
The Colin Tong jinx.
I don't know. I feel like you're more of a jinxer right now than I am.
Name one time.
The past 4 weeks of you picking the spread.
Yo, that was fire.
Got him.
That was sick.
Next, Reagan, we're also off on this one. I don't know why we backed the Panthers. They're now 1-10.
Mine was more so just being
guys
mad at the
backed the
Titans.
Panthers?
You were just mad at the Titans when
You
you.
backed the Panthers.
I backed the Titans way too much. They've hurt me too
Come
many times.
on.
I also said I was fading my gut. My gut said to back the Titans, so I faded it.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I had been ice cold, so I figured that if I do the opposite. So if I trusted myself, I would have had a hell of a week.
What
But
yards did Levis have?
Levis threw for 185.
He didn't
No
do much.
touchdowns.
It was all
no
tractor
picks.
Chico. He had a good game.
But the horse,
Who
he
called
galloped
that?
into that end zone.
Whoa.
18 for 76 and 2 touchdowns.
Whoa.
Droxlocks
Should've
smash
took
in
two.
the first quarter,
Should've
baby.
took two.
That's what he does. That's what he
He
does.
call him the ATM.
Call him the ATM. I thought Bryce Young was going to have a better game against the very porous Titans secondary. He only threw for 194. No touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah.
At least Jonathan Mingo had 4 for 60. He was finally the leading receiver after they took him in the second round at Ole Miss. I mean, you're hoping that they can develop a chemistry at this point. If you're a Panthers fan, that's the only silver lining here. Your team's terrible. You don't even have your first-round pick. I'd hate to be a Panthers fan. Sorry, Cherf. Your team's ass.
He doesn't watch the games. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's the biggest casual out of everyone I know.
Titans are now 4-7. Reagan, a little bit of hope for that over 8.5?
I don't know.
Or is it too little too late? You also beat the worst team in the league, so I wouldn't give you that much confidence.
What do you want them to do? Not beat them? You got to beat who's in front of you.
That's a great
They took
point,
care. It was a
brother.
business trip, and it wasn't a business trip. I also saw the Titans. All 4 of their wins are at home, so they just lose on the road. So maybe it's time to start fading the Titans on the road.
Yeah, the Titans are 4-1 at home, man. That's not too bad. All right, last game
Yeah,
before we head
that's
to a
scary on
break,
the road.
Reagan. The Colts beat the Bucs. We both had the Bucs in this one too. 27-20. Minshew.
Also,
What?
before we even get into it, man, look at the Colts' schedule. I'm telling you right now, the Colts are going to be a playoff team if you actually look at their schedule.
Is it very bad?
Dude, every game they have left is winnable. Like, obviously they're not going to win out, but like, every game on the schedule they could easily win.
All right, let's look at it. They got the Titans next week.
Bengals now without Burrow.
Bengals without Burrow. Steelers, probably a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
probably, but like the Steelers' offense isn't great. You know what I mean? Like they could easily
Yeah.
compete in that game.
The Falcons, kind of another mid-team.
Yeah, it's like a
The
toss-up.
Raiders, another mid-team. And the Texans.
and I believe they beat the Texans early on. They did.
Week
So,
2.
you
Week
can't
2,
even say that,
31-20.
That's what I mean.
That's a soft schedule, man. I'm not gonna lie. And the
Might-
the team like the Bills. That's,
One of you guys
that's
wanna
in the
check
same
what their
ballpark
odds
as
are
them. The Bills ballpark.
To
I
make
mean,
the
no.
playoffs, I'm just
Let's
curious.
take a look.
The Bills
That's
schedule
definitely
is
worth
terrible.
a sprinkle. That's all I'm
Bills?
saying. Colts to make the playoffs.
No, the Bills schedule
You're not
is
listening.
brutal.
We just went over their schedule. They don't play any.
My bad.
Every
I
team
took
they
under-
play.
I took
the
under
best team
7.5,
they play.
so.
Well, that's not hitting.
Yeah, it's not hitting.
You don't fade Gardner.
It could, but
Also, I feel bad for Anthony Richardson. He's not going to have a job next year, but it's all right.
dude, come on. Gardner Minshew does this.
Dude.
He steps in mid-season.
What does
he
he
plays
do?
well.
Bring teams to the
He
playoffs?
goes somewhere else. He's a bridge quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback.
No, I know.
He threw for 251
Reagan,
and an
plus
interception.
118.
Wow.
I got plus 100 on draft.
That's what I'm saying. So it's really not that crazy of a take.
That's not crazy at
No.
all.
I mean, it's even odds, so it's kind of a lukewarm take, Reagan.
It is true. It's like not the craziest thing.
Yeah,
He was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna make the playoffs! Oh my God! Oh my God!"
Well, Dave was over there shaking his head like, no, they're not. And you were like, had no idea. So I don't.
I was checking out their schedule.
Their schedule.
Their schedule.
Check out their schedule.
It's the schedule's soft. They definitely can.
So don't
They're
get
6 and 5.
Don't get all lippy with me.
Like
buddy.
I was saying, the
I don't need
Bills
you going,
in the same
at me.
ballpark as them. Their schedule was brutal,
Brutal.
but they're a much better team. But you know,
Are they?
yes, they're a better team than the Colts, dude.
I don't know. Gardner Minshew, Josh Allen. Now,
I mean,
let's get into this game.
Jonathan Taylor kind of carried him here, 15 for 91, 2 touchdowns, and then Michael Pittman, 10 for 107, which, I mean, I wish I took him. I took him in fantasy last year because he was supposed to be his breakout. He's played really well this year.
He's having a good year.
You got to tip the cap. The rookie Josh Downs, 5 for 43.
Going back to Crampton's question, that's a good one for a late round or like returning well on value.
Yeah, because Josh
Pittman.
Downs was going. Oh, you're talking about Pittman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pittman.
He was
yeah.
going late in most. He was like 6th, 7th round.
Yeah, and he's been playing. I think like a
nobody
wide
knew how he
receiver
was-
too. He's been a solid wide receiver
Yeah,
too.
I think he's top 20. I would say.
He's definitely top 20.
I would think so.
He's got the yardage, I believe. For the Bucks, Baker 20 of 30 for 199, 2 touchdowns and a pick. White
Your boy.
15 for 100 on the ground. Evans 6 for 70 and 2 touchdowns. Godwin 3 for 45. I think Godwin and Baker just don't really have a good rapport because
Now,
Godwin's not really having.
My question to you is: you said you didn't think White was a good running back going into this season. Do you think he's good, or do you think he just produces for fantasy?
I think he's more of a fantasy back, but I got to check the stats out after the season and really get into the nitty gritty to see if he's improved. He's definitely improved over last year. You got to give him that. He's definitely improved.
Full volume, though.
Yeah, he's definitely improved over last year for sure. You got to tip the cap to that. But Bucks are now 4-7, lost season. I mean, I don't know if Baker's going to be there next year. But that's another team that's going to need a quarterback. I feel like so many teams are going to need a quarterback after the season. Colts 6-5 in the playoff hunt.
Man, I would love if Baker was the quarterback of the Jets right now. I feel like he would be so good if he was in a better situation. Although the Bucks,
Baker's like a leader, man.
Yeah.
You know, like he brings some juice.
they
to
do
the
rally
locker room.
around him.
They do rally around the guy.
All right, we want to get into the next one.
Let's take a quick break.
What's up, guys? I'm here to tell you about Worth's Manhattan. It's the best. It's our personal favorite of the podcast. We love to have it on Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays. Whenever we're watching football, that's one of our favorite drinks to sit down and have because me and Colin, our team sucks, so it's nice to have that to drink because it really relaxes our nerves, you know?
Welcome back in, guys. Reagan,
Really?
All right, just keep going.
All right, now do it.
Angry Colin.
Calm down.
Welcome back in, guys. Reagan, the Jaguars beat the Texans 24-21 to improve to 8-3, including 5-0 on the road.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, freaking very close that Matt Amendola kick. Almost went in.
Yeah, and he got released today.
Well, because, Fairbairn's their guy. He's a good kicker.
Yeah, and he's healthy.
Amendola did almost make that kick, though.
Hard to
Probably
break
would have
it.
helped if Stroud didn't
He also went 0 for 2.
take that 5 yards right before the kick, you know. Because even if he was a yard closer, that was going in. That just missed.
Was this a sign for the future of these two quarterbacks going to be dueling out for the next decade plus potentially? Lawrence threw for 364, a touchdown and a pick, made a lot of big time throws, a lot of chunk plays. Stroud threw for 304 and 2 touchdowns, man. What a great quarterback duel.
I enjoyed it very much.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was good. In the Jaguars, I know you were at the Giants game, so you probably didn't see it, but Christian Kirk, right before halftime, it somehow got loose and almost scored, and they got
57-yarder.
He got knocked out at the 1 yard line, and so there was
And then ETN got stuffed.
1 second left, and then ETN got stuffed because they could have kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
But I get it because
Doug Peterson let his nuts hang on the
it
table.
worked out anyway. They still won, but it definitely was an interesting call.
Definitely an
one of
interesting
those
call.
that if it scores, we give him credit, and then it didn't happen, and we're like, hey, he probably should have kicked it.
Yeah, Kirk had 4 for 89. Calvin, really another big game, man. 5 for 89 and a touchdown.
Going back to Austy's question, is he a must start? Yes, he is, Austy.
You got to start him, man. And ETN only 20 for 56 on the ground.
I would trade him away in any dynasty league.
2.8.
That's not terrible.
I would trade him away in a dynasty league. If somebody were to offer you a trade tonight for say, I would trade him away.
Najee, give me 2 firsts.
Yeah, if somebody offered you Najee and maybe
And 2 firsts.
and a third and a second, I would
2
I would
firsts.
definitely consider it.
I'll shake your hand on the pod right now. 2 firsts, Najee.
Who depends who's first they are.
Really?
Does Drock
Would
want
you
his
actually
first
be
back?
interested in doing that deal? 2 firsts?
Nah,
Yeah,
Najee
I
had
wouldn't do
99
that
rushing
either.
yards last week. He's a beast.
I'm
Najee's
saying.
on the up.
I'm saying next year.
ETN's on the down.
Next year's pod, then you can talk about Najee.
All right. Yeah, that'll be all right, guys, we're back with our hot take. Najee, he didn't do it last year, but he showed some promise at the end of last year. He had 199-yard rushing game. What are we doing? We're slamming it at plus 9,000. He's
Clip
not
it.
even. He ain't even the starting running back anymore, but we're slamming it.
That's great.
Now, the Jaguars are very stout against the run, Reagan. C.J. Stroud was the Texans' leading rusher. 6 for 47 and a touchdown.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Wowza.
Singletary was hot, and he only had 6 for 18. The return of Dameon Pierce, 5 for 14.
Yeah, wow, what a return.
Not
Came
good.
back on fire.
But at least the 1-2 punch of Nico Collins and Tank Dell kept it up.
Dude,
Nico,
Tank's insane.
104
He's
and a
so
touchdown. Tank, 50 yards and a touchdown. Wow. I mean, Houston sits at 6-5. They still have a good shot for a wild card. Looks like Jacksonville's going to take this division. They're currently 8-3. Granted, unless there's an unforeseen collapse.
You never know about the Colts.
This Jags team, man. This Jags team, though, looking pretty good.
Yeah.
You weren't a believers. Are you a believer now?
No.
Oh, still no.
No, I'm sorry.
I thought. Wait, can we go back? I thought we said last week on the pod. I thought he said if they beat the Texans, then
I'll give him more credit. I still don't believe him, no.
I still didn't hear you give him any credit.
I mean, congrats. Like, I don't know.
It's not me. I didn't throw
Congrats.
for 350 yards.
Congrats.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that's
just
more of
saying.
a Texans defense issue, but you
Don't
know,
let
a
it
lot of
24.
breakdowns,
Yeah.
a lot of break.
I don't
Can't be
know.
letting Christian Kirk go for 57 yards when there's like 8 seconds left in the half. Like, why are you not in prevent defense? I don't know.
I don't know. Sounds like you should be the DC. Next, the Broncos.
You said it, but I'm not gonna. If they offered me the job right now, I would definitely.
Would you take it?
I would consider it, but I would. Yeah, I think I'd end up taking it.
Yeah. Who do you think pays more, around the felt or the Houston Texans?
I write my own checks, so it depends how much I want to pay myself.
He's like, I like being my own boss.
Yeah, maybe if they offer me give me Doug's job, and I'll come on the staff.
Oh, okay. The Broncos continue their hot streak, Reagan, beating the Browns 29-12, the number 1 ranked defense in the league. Gets beat up a little bit here.
Yeah, man, these
29
Broncos
points.
are rolling, man.
They're
They look-
rolling. They only sacked Wilson once.
They might be in the playoffs.
Broncos country.
Let's ride.
What are their odds to make the
Mr.
playoffs? What do you guys wanna check?
Unlimited.
I'm curious. Browns and
Yes.
Broncos, dude. I don't know. The Broncos.
Let me look at that real quick.
There's so many teams that I like that I could see making the playoffs.
Drock, I have a question for you.
Mm.
Have you ever done anything dangerous?
Done a couple things a little risky.
Ooh.
I mean,
That is
That's right.
dangerous.
That was pretty dangerous today. Walking around.
While he's
with-
like munching on a sub.
It was pretty. I will say it's
Have you
pretty
watched that
dangerous
clip?
that video he did today because he was walking around the city with a coffee, earbuds in, looking at his phone.
Yeah.
You never know who's good.
3 or 4 takes.
You
Dun, dun,
I
dun,
need to get like a
dun.
good camera angle, and then I hold my Starbucks.
All it
up.
takes is for you to bump into the wrong guy, and it's a bad day for Drock.
Drock, can you do something for Around the Felt? Can you do a side-by-side of you and Russell Wilson with the voiceover of eating
Absolutely.
the sandwich? Be
I'll
like,
do that
ooh,
tomorrow.
you ever done anything dangerous?
Okay, that
Have you ever slammed Drock's locks? That's so good. That's so good.
gotta
And
write
you
that
take,
down.
oh my
He's
god.
going in
I
the
gotta write
notes.
that in my notes.
Yeah,
That'd be so
I
good.
wonder if anyone's got the Danger Wish. Like, I wonder if it's good.
I honestly would
Broncos
love to
are
get one.
Punishment for Drock.
Do they
Broncos
still
are
sell that,
plus
do you know?
125 to make the playoffs.
Plus 125.
Wow,
Colts
sprinkle.
have better
It's
odds.
better value than the Colts. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I mean, the Broncos are probably in a tougher division, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's definitely a factor. Their schedule's definitely a little tougher, but man, what is that? 5 in a row? Everyone wanted to write off
Hottest
Russell
team in the
Wilson.
league.
He ain't right back.
I still think he's a bum. Whatever.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he throws all their touchdowns. They actually got touchdowns on the ground this week. One of them was Wilson. Samaje Perine had 7 for 55 and a touchdown. Javonte 18 for 65 on the ground. Cortland Sutton 3 for 61. I mean, just a hell of a game out of their defense. DTR got concussed in this one as well. He threw for 134 and a touchdown before leaving, and then it was back to the PJ Walker show. He did not look good. 6 for 13 for 56 yards. Man, these Broncos, could they make a playoff push? Did you call them playoffs preseason?
I did. That was one of my teams to make it.
Ooh.
Them, the Steelers, and Buffalo are my 3 wild cards. So
Well, Steelers look good. Buffalo's like right there. The only problem is like you'd have Buffalo and Denver fighting for like the last spot where like one of them might get in. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many teams bunched up, and the Browns are at 7-4.
Yep. But Steelers and Broncos, man, they're both having good years.
Absolutely. Next, I don't know why we took the Cardinals either, bro. We backed the 2 worst teams in the league this week.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, I
know.
mean,
I don't
clearly
know.
Kyron Williams is
I don't know.
a huge factor to this offense. I mean,
Talking about draft steals, if you got Kyron Williams, and
Yeah.
if you even drafted him,
I had him
you
in
know, like-
Dynasty. I had him in Dynasty just stashed
You
on
just-
one of my
yeah,
benches.
yeah.
Like, just stashed, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I have an RB1.
You're like, you have an RB1.
Just, like,
He had
fell into
over
my
200 yards.
just fell into my lap, and I've been playing him all year.
200 yards and 2 touchdowns, man.
And it just shows you. I mean, we saw Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman. That did not work. And then
Freeman had 13 for 77 and a touchdown.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
but it didn't work without Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different offense with Williams versus without him.
Now, Reagan, what is going on? I mean, I know the Rams hung 37 behind the legs of Royce Freeman and Kyron Williams, but what's going on with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, man?
Kupp did get banged up again.
Kupp 3 for 18, Nacua 4 for 27.
I'd say this is more on they just didn't need them. Like, you put up 37.
Well, this is the worst stretch of Kupp's career, I'd say.
But they didn't need him. Like, when Kyron Williams was just gashing them all downfield, and Arizona, like, went for it on 4th down, I think twice again, like last week. You know, Rams were in good territory a lot of the games, so.
Cardinals do get exposed on the ground.
Yeah.
We should honestly take advantage of that more for our parlay picks. Teams run the ball down the throat.
I think we would.
Rams are 5-6. Cardinals are now 2-10. Right atop the draft order. Murray threw for 256 and a touchdown. Wasn't really on him. They had no running game. Connor 6 for 27. Hollywood 6 for 88.
Well, that's another
Trey
thing,
McBride,
man.
7
like,
for 60.
6 for 27 with Connor. Like, I don't understand that. Like, why are they not trying to establish the run more? They kind of abandoned it quick. And
well, yeah, they were
up 8-7 like at one point, and then like. I don't know, to me, like, you're up 8-7, how does your running back, your good running back that obviously, like, when he went down, it was a huge impact on this offense, so I don't fully understand that, but.
I guess when they were down 21-8 at half, they kind of just fully abandoned it.
And, which maybe they shouldn't have, but.
They didn't run the ball at all. All right, Chiefs, Raiders. Chiefs fall down 14-0 in this one, and then rally back in a 31-3
I got right
run.
against the spread, man. I was like, oh, great, another one I got wrong.
Yeah, I took the Raiders in this one, but I had Chiefs and Survivor, which, you know, Reagan didn't, and Reagan's out. I'm in.
I already used them.
Yeah, it's fine.
You took the Raiders?
No, I took the Raiders. I took the Raiders 9.5. Yeah, because the Chiefs hadn't scored in the second half 3 games in a row, and then they scored 17.
It looked great the first half.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs scored 17 in the second half, so they're getting back on track a little bit. Pacheco had 2. Rashee Rice, best game of his career, 8 for 107 and a touchdown. He's become Mahomes' favorite wide receiver target, excluding Kelsey, obviously. Kelsey had 6 for 91. Mahomes did his thing, 3 for 298 and 2 touchdowns. For the Raiders, Jacobs had a great day in the ground, 20 for 110 and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 6 for 79 and a touchdown. Adams, 5 for 73. O'Connell played pretty well. I mean, their defense just couldn't hold down the Chiefs.
No, they could not. I mean, Mahomes, just a vintage Mahomes and Kelsey.
Vintage Mahomes and Kelsey. What do? They beat the AFC West opponents over and over and over again. Raiders 5-7, lost season. You know, maybe Antonio Pierce can rally him down the stretch.
I think he'll keep the job.
Get a job.
I mean, they're still competing. Like, even though
31, paying McDaniels
31-17, but they were in this game. You know,
they were in this game. Chiefs 8-3, atop the AFC, and I have their over.
No, they're not. The
Ravens.
Are.
That's right. They're right. I mean, we're getting
there.
there.
Those are your boys.
Those are my boys. The Ravens. Well, the Ravens are also not. Oh, the Ravens are 9-3. They're half a game up. Yeah. I knew they had 3 losses. Yeah. Well, we'll get there soon, Reagan. Don't worry. We got 2 games left.
But the team on top of the NFL, let's get into their game.
Yeah, the Eagles 37-34. What a barn burner, man. Eagles are now 10-1. The Bills dropped to 6-6. Oh man, I took the Bills outright in this one. They were right there. They were right there.
The thing with the Eagles is they always just squeak it out. It just all year they've been tested and they always get it done.
They're just too good.
And they're good.
Just too good.
They make such good adjustments at halftime. Like they've been down in a lot of these games in the first half, and they just make the adjustments needed.
They do. Jalen Hurts threw for 203 touchdowns with a pick.
And honestly,
added 65 on the ground.
Swift had a great game, but I feel like they should have given him the ball more.
Yeah, Swift.
He was gashing the Bills.
14 for 80, brother.
He was gashing them.
Don't ever do that again.
Yeah,
gashing them.
All right.
Devontae Smith.
I'm just sorry, everybody.
7 for 106 and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, not his best day. 5 for 37.
Well, I mean, hey, he still got a touchdown.
Didn't have the touchdown. He was wide open, though. It was
also,
a nice route.
The weather was crappy, and it was pretty obvious the Bills were taking him out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this quarterback duel, because Allen threw for 339 and 2 touchdowns and a pick, but added 9 for 81 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had a lot of big, explosive runs that,
it was
very impressive.
Probably one of the best head-to-head quarterback games we've seen this year.
It was probably the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be.
If this was prime time, I feel like it'd be getting more attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Gabe Davis, 6 for 105 and a touchdown. Diggs, 6 for 74 and a touchdown. Hell of a game. I feel like this would have sparked the Bills down the stretch if they pulled this one out against the best team in the league.
Bye, Buffalo.
6-6, man, with a very difficult schedule.
Yeah, I'm happy these guys.
I'm actually curious. I want to look at their schedule.
It's hilarious.
They got, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're kind of.
They got the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Then they have, that's next week. They have the Cowboys at home. They have the Chargers. They'll beat the Patriots and the Dolphins in Miami. So
I think they're missing the playoffs.
that is a tough schedule, man. I feel bad for
They got
them.
that. The Chargers game is the Peacock game.
That's where they're like,
Peacock
everyone's got to get Peacock to watch.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it.
I already have it. We're good.
Hey,
I got that. Never mind.
What?
Never mind.
You got that
You got that? Yo, hey, yo.
See, Joe got it. You didn't pick up on it.
I didn't know.
Hey.
I didn't know we had Poppy Day
Yo.
sauce in the house.
All right, Reagan.
We
Last
got-
game.
Speaking, we ought to throw you in a dog cage for that freak because you get freaky with it.
Well,
And you know why?
we're one win away from you
win away.
having to run the milk mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you were a church shirt for me. It was a win-loss. Win-loss.
I think I'd rather run a milk mile than just be in a dog cage like a freak.
Yeah, the Chargers are...
woof.
The
I
Chargers...
feel bad because you're instantly going to get fired from your job for this, too. Like,
The
so fired.
Chargers are not winning 10 games. They're at 4-7.
You waving the
after
white flag?
dropping one. Yeah, I'm waving it.
That's 2 white flags this season for
Wow.
you. 2 white flags.
Yeah, are you waving in the Ravens?
I already did. I don't need to do it again.
Okay.
Say it out loud.
I already did.
Wave
Wave
it.
the
Do
flag.
you not listen to
Wave the
podcast?
flag.
Your flag.
I've already waved
white
it. You're a
towel
fake
right
fan.
there.
If you watched all of our episodes, you know. I've already waved it. We go over this like
I
every
probably
week.
skipped through your part.
Yeah,
would.
Ravens.
I'm just like a weirdo. You don't want to listen to my parts.
Ravens. Big win for them, 20-10. Zay
Yeah.
Flowers, man. Zay Flowers, that rushing touchdown.
Yeah,
was
screw you, Zay Flowers. That could have been one of my right picks on the spread.
The nail in the coffin. 1 for 37, a touchdown on the ground. And that speed sweep, that was pretty sick to
I
see.
thought he was going to go down. So selfish. So selfish.
Receiving wise, it was pretty spread
So
out like it
selfish.
usually was with Baltimore. Isaiah likely stepped
How
in
about
for
Keenan
Andrews,
Allen, too,
4
man?
for 40. Odell 3 for 34.
Keenan
Zay
Allen's
5
stat
for
line was
25
ridiculous.
and a touchdown. Keenan Allen 14 for 106 against
getting
a very good
targets
Ravens,
out the
very good
ass.
Ravens defense, man.
Yeah, just crazy. He's just having a crazy year. He's second in receiving yards now.
Yeah, dude, he's
in the league.
disgusting. He's
Herbert
disgusting.
sucks.
You know he's already got
having a career year.
9.
Career
I
year.
think 9.
94 catches.
No, I think it's even. I think he's 99. Look, just click on his name real quick. I saw he was almost at 100 when I was looking today. 97.
97.
So he's gonna. I mean, how many games are left for them? 6. He could set the record.
6 games.
He might set the record.
Six
What is
games,
the
yeah.
record?
I think it's 143 for Michael Thomas. But
I mean, if
think
he
that
keeps
wasn't
getting
16,
Oh, yeah.
14
it wasn't
catches a
16
game.
games though. So
14 catches a game, though, he still gets there.
yeah. Well,
That'd be
yeah.
crazy.
That would
be crazy.
I mean, he would smash it if he gets 14 over the next 6. He would, I know I'm not a math guy like you, but I'm pretty sure that would smash it.
Too close to
That would-
200.
Yeah, it would
exactly.
absolutely
It'd be
smash.
fucking close to 200.
Yeah, Herbert threw for 217, a touchdown, a pick. I mean, Eckler kind of struggled on the ground again, 10
I
for
wouldn't.
32.
Yeah, I mean, for fantasy wise, I wouldn't be too worried, but you're definitely not happy. He's definitely not returning on investment. I mean, he was injured early on, and now he's had a couple dud games in a row. But
I think this is last year as a Charger.
yeah, I mean, it's
It's
the
pretty-
last year under contract.
Yeah,
so.
he just does not look like the same player
No.
at this point. Injury's starting to catch up. He looks slow. I mean, I can't imagine he's still there.
I'm
Before
sure
we-
he'll hop on somewhere. That was a good receiving back, though.
Yeah. How about this Ravens defense, though, man? They've just been shutting people
I
down
know.
all year.
That's
Detroit,
what I'm saying.
Los Angeles.
Well, that's half the reason I can't see Lamar getting MVP because the Ravens' defense has been playing out of their mind. It's the lowest points allowed since, like, I think they're at, like, 14 or something right now. Like, something crazy, but it's the lowest they've allowed in a season since, like, I think the 03 Ravens with, like, Ray Lewis and all
That
those
was
guys.
2000, I think.
Or 2000, yeah. I saw some graphic on the Sunday Night Football thing, but they're, like, crazy this year, their defense.
But I will say Lamar's having his best season since the MVP
He
season.
is. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the stats really
But
aren't
the
there
defense
this
disgusting.
year
Kyle
because
Hamilton, man,
and
the
they don't
safety
need to
they
be
took
there.
out of Notre Dame last year,
Yep.
14th overall.
fell to them.
He's-
Well, that's the reason the
he
dude
was
was
a
projected to be like a
beast.
top 5 pick because he's
Yeah, but it's positional value
I
and he
know.
dropped. And the Ravens,
And
like they always do,
obviously-
best player available.
and Roquan Smith. Like adding
Roquan,
him
yeah,
has
when
been
they got at him
huge.
last year, because the second half of last
Patrick
season, their
Queen's a
defense was
beast,
sick
too.
too. Roquan
They got a bunch
has
of
been
guys
phenomenal.
On
They
that
got a
defense.
bunch of guys, man. Ravens sitting at 9-3, the number 1 seed. I had them
Yeah.
as the 2. I had Chiefs as the 1 preseason, so we'll see.
We shall see. We shall see.
All right, that wraps up today's pod, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Now we got the Bears and Vikings. Who we riding with?
Game already looks like shit, so.
Oh, all right.
I got Vikings in
The
this
Bears-
one, but I'm rooting for the Bears.
We're
Survivor.
driving almost in red zone.
Oh, boy.
but-
Yeah, it didn't do
Well,
shit.
we got Mooney first touchdown. So
Mooney first touchdown from the wheel,
ain't
baby.
dead yet.
It looks
Hopefully you
terrible.
listen tomorrow when
all
it
right,
hits.
well, they're getting the ball back, so
Yeah,
Mooney still got a shot.
Not
Oh.
All right, boys, we're rocking
We ain't
that.
dead. We ain't dead. All right, but that wraps up the podcast. We will see you guys on Wednesday.